Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shop Talk number 48. Thanks again for tuning in to one of my Shop Talk live streams. Got a great show for you today. In the green room, we have Maestro Paco Chorobo, all the way from Ubida, Spain, here in the house. He's going to be on here in just a few minutes to enlighten us about all things flamenco. I see a lot of you guys tuning in here, all the way from Tahiti. Wow. That's pretty amazing. Thank you for tuning in all the way from Tahiti. We've got Alberta, Canada represented. We've got a couple of people here from Colorado, Cesar and Manuel all the way down there in Brazil. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Jim Deeming for the wonderful theme song. That's the opening here in the Shop Talk live stream. If you ever get a chance to see Jim play live, it's well worth it. And thank you to the Luthier Academy sponsors. I always like to highlight the Luthier Academy sponsors. So here we go over to the website real quick. This is the Luthier Academy website. Just click on the sponsors page. There we have StewMac, Royal Lac, Glue Boost, Elevate Luthier, Total Vice, Gen 1 Luthier Supply, Acoustic Coffee, Pacific Rim Tone Woods, and Skyscraper Guitars. Skyscraper Guitars is making the O'Brien Guitars neck angle jig. So these companies have been vetted. They offer great products and services. And I would appreciate if you need anything, please give them a holler. Let's go down to Brazil real quick, where Cesar and Manuela are in the on-deck circle. There they are, Cesar and Manuela.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, Cesar and Manuela. How are things in Brazil?
Good. Quite cold, actually, but
yeah. I was talking to somebody in Brazil yesterday on a Zoom call, and they had this big jacket on and a sweater. It was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
I forgot that it's winter down there.
Yeah.
So, Cesar, today we're going to give away something very special. Would you like to announce it?
Yeah, sure.
So today we are going away a flamenco guitar building course.
And winning is quite easy as usual. All you have to do is click at the link at the top of this chat box and follow the instructions and leave your entry. At the end of the live stream, we will make the drawing.
Very nice. Thank you, Cesar. And thank you, Manuela. Man, I don't hear you speak English very much, so thank you. That was great. I appreciate that. All right. So as Cesar said, click on the in the chat box. There's a link there for the giveaway. Put in your name and email address, and that way we can find you. Also, I have a very special announcement here. The vacuum clamp that you have seen me using. I was at the Mark Adams School of Woodworking here recently, giving a finishing class with Jeff Jewett. And when it came time to glue the bridges on after the finishes, we used the brand new Luthier Academy O'Brien Guitars vacuum clamp. Very special. It's extremely light, high quality fixtures, stainless steel. The insert for the 1/4-inch vacuum hose is very high quality, and it's got a clear membrane, so you can actually see where you're placing it and where the bridge is throughout the whole entire process. So if you're interested in getting the Luthier Academy O'Brien Guitars vacuum clamp, then Cesar is going to put the link. It's not me that's selling it directly. It's through one of my students. So just click on the link, goes to his website, and he'll take care of you. So if you want to do that, I would certainly appreciate it. It helps keep the lights on here at O'Brien Guitars and the Luthier Academy. Also, some announcements. The online courses at the Luthier Academy continue to expand. The latest one that we launched was the headstock backstrap. You can see that in the middle thumbnail there. That's with Nigel Foster down there in Australia. Fantastic little mini course. It shows you 3 different ways to do back straps. Also, previous to that, we launched the electric bass course, neck through electric bass, with Scott Serene of Serene Basses. And coming very soon is Irish Bouzouki building with Graham McDonald, also there in Australia. So there's no reason to not jump into Luthier. There's over 50 courses. If you just scroll down through the catalog there, all in alphabetical order, there's over 50 courses available on the Luthier Academy website now, and it's continually expanding. So be sure and check that out. Also, next month, I will be in Cremona, Italy. So if you guys there are going to the Cremona Festival, I will be there. They have asked me to do a 3-hour demo. I think it's like 10 to 1 or 10 to 2 or something like that on the Saturday of the Cremona Festival. And I will be doing a French polishing demonstration. Hopefully it's going to be a hands-on, so I'll be able to pass out materials and things to you guys and let you guys play along with me. So if you're going to be in Italy next month, I think it's the third week. I don't know the exact dates yet. It's on their website. Go check it out. Cremona Festival. I will be there for that. Also, very special event. I think I've mentioned this before. Trevor Gore and I do modal tuning master classes. We've done 11 of them here in my shop in Parker, Colorado over the years. And next year we're taking it on the road and we're putting it on steroids. It's going to be in LaConner, Washington. It's going to be a 5-day event as opposed to our normal 3-day event. Trevor will be presenting the modal tuning part of the class. I will be doing my voicing, thicknessing, bracing, voicing techniques that I use in my shop and how I integrate Trevor's technology and IP into that. We're also going to have a guest speaker that's very well known in the industry. You guys will all recognize him. He will be there. Dr. David Olson will be representing Pacific Rim Tonewoods, and he will be doing demonstrations and lectures on how they do their sonically testing wood. So make sure you make a trip out to the Pacific Rim Tonewoods site. We have a lot of information about their sonically testing process. We're also going to take a day and head out to the Pacific Rim Tonewood facilities there and see how they process the wood. I had a recent live stream on that with Eric Warner from Pacific Rim Tonewoods. So be sure and check that out. It's going to be the first week in August of next year. If you're interested in participating in that, go ahead and get on my list. I have a very long list, and we're going to have to limit the seating there. So go ahead and contact me if you want to be involved in that. Also, Paco and I, for the last 10 days, have been giving classes here in the shop. We gave a 2-day rosette making class. I'll show some pictures here in a minute. We also gave an 8-day flamenco guitar bending class to 4 people. And next year, he says, I want to do it again. So he's going to be coming back. It's going to be right after the event we're going to do in Washington State, there in LaConner, Washington. So if you're interested in participating in that, seats are extremely limited. Only 6 people in the rosette class. Only 4 people will be led into the flamenco guitar bending course. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and send me an email, contact me, and we'll put you on the list. All right. Well, I think that about covers it. In the bullfighting arena there in Spain, here we go, Mr. Paco Chorobo.
Very good morning.
Actually, he's not in Spain. He's sitting right above me in the living room.
Yeah.
We tried doing this downstairs with the shop, but we were getting too much of an echo with the microphones and stuff. So he is upstairs. And thank you very much, Paco, for being here. It has been a very fun 10 days. And I'm just going to pull up some pictures here, Paco, and I'll let you start talking.
Yes, please.
So here are the rosette pictures we did. And folks, just take a look at that rosette. Let me see if I can even expand that. Oh my God. That was a hand-painted rosette. Well, heck, I'll let you talk about it, Paco. You tell me how that rosette was made.
Yeah, this is the rosette where I showed all of the techniques combined together. We did many techniques from Japan, kintsugi, makie, raden. Also, we learned how to do hand-painted, capillarity ink, laser. The world of rosette is endless, even if you stay with traditional techniques. But if you incorporate digital technology, then it goes over the roof. It's a great part of the guitar to really express your creativity.
So, Paco, I'm just going to scroll through these pictures, and if you want to make any comments, you just let me know. Folks, these are some of the rosettes that we had the students build in the class. Why don't you explain what's going on with this one, Paco?
So here we were making an example on how to use little pieces of mother of pearl to glue them together. And then we were using SLA printing, it's a stereolithography printing, to create like super detailed elements. In this case, we were using 10-point Arabic stars. And then we were using a traditional technique, which is a gold leaf. It's in this case, it's not 24K gold leaf, but for practicing, I don't recommend you to use the real stuff. And then with this rosette, all you have to do is you take it out of the mold. Students now know how to do that. and then you can put a background of interference ink, for instance, and then all of that light, all of those reflections will go through the pearl in the spaces in between the pearls, and it creates a iridescent rosette that shifts color depending on the angle. So you can do very, very, very cool things.
I think I have more pictures of that. There's one that was using blue.
Yeah, here
Absolutely.
we are using.
Let me just scroll through here. Here we go to our traditional tile type rosettes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like Paco said, we did 4 different types of rosettes. There's another picture of the abalone pearl with the resin then applied over the top of it. And
here we are doing a traditional soguilla. It's a very traditional element, and we are binding the rosette, the rosette mosaics with a soguilla.
And in the background of that picture, look at Paco's pink shirt. You'll see a sticker. There's a story behind that.
Yeah, Maestro, you should tell everybody.
Okay, so there's a story behind that. I picked Paco up here almost 2 weeks ago at almost midnight at the Denver airport, and by 1 o'clock, his luggage hadn't arrived. Of course, he decided to go from Ubida, Spain, to Madrid, to Frankfurt, to JFK, and then finally Denver. And the connection in Frankfurt was too short for his bag to make it.
Yeah.
And so he got here with no suitcase. And so the very next morning, we went to Walmart and we found $2 T-shirts.
Yes, that's what I'm worth as a luthier.
So he said, well, that's about how much I'm worth as a luthier. So he would use a different shirt every day and leave the $2 sticker on there. So it was pretty funny. Anyways, this is a traditional tile type rosette. What's going on with this one, Paco?
Yeah, here we are combining digital technology and traditional techniques. Here we are using laser on tilo wood, and we are scoring the wood with laser, so we have a reference to paint it. Then we are using a capillarity technique, and we are painting very, very detailed and very intricate details with as much precision as you can have. If you don't have a laser, you can also use other techniques and other secrets that I teach in the course, and you get the exact same result.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. We're using the transtent dyes
yes, exactly.
without diluting them in any mediums and just putting it on with a paintbrush, and the wood, the capillary effect, takes it over to the laser cut line and then stops it. Yeah. So it's a very interesting effect. So here's some of the ones that were done here in the class.
Very good quality ink. Excellent quality. I've tried very, very expensive, as you can imagine, on my custom projects. I use very, very expensive materials, probably the best pigments in the world. I import them from Germany. And these transient dyes, they work very, very, very well.
Yeah. And the Transtint, for those who are not familiar with it, were invented and created by Jeff Jewett, Homestead Finishings. And we used a lot of those in our finishing class here a couple of weeks ago at the Mark Adams School of Woodworking in Indiana.
Yeah, to get this kind of effect, this is a design from the previous one was an Arabic design. It's an original design, and this design is found in the Taj Mahal Palace in India, and you cannot see it in the picture, but the details, the leaves, the points of the leaf are really, really, really small. I mean, we are talking about less than a millimeter. And you can see the precision of the ink. It's right on the line. And to achieve this result, it's very important to use a very high quality dye, a very high quality pigment. The quality of the pigments is what creates this effect.
There's another one.
Yeah, so the students, they were making a great job.
And then Paco introduced segmented rosettes, and he's got a fantastic little template. I'll let you elaborate on that little template there.
I discovered segmented rosettes. I was making a project in Spain for a customer in the Netherlands, and we decided to do segmented rosettes. So I started making the segmented rosette with a very, very basic setup. You just need a paper, a sheet of paper, and you can use this jig. It's basically a 3D printed template just to guide you. But as we shown in the course, you need basically nothing. It's super easy to do. You get amazing results. You can use all of your scraps. Don't throw them away. Don't get them on the fire pit, because you can create a lot of value out of that scraps by making segmented rosettes. Yeah, especially if you have wood that has a little bit of sapwood, and then you can create even better effects. So I taught the students my tips and tricks to get the best possible result, how to orient the grain, and you can make segmented rosettes with basically no tools, just a plane and a sheet of paper.
All right. And then finally, here's the results of the traditional tile type rosettes with rope or wheat or whatever, going around the inner diameter and the outer diameter. And keep in mind, folks, we did all of these rosettes and all these techniques in 2 days. Paco is very efficient when it comes to rosette making. Look at some of these. And some of these were used actually on the guitars that were built in the flamenco class.
Yeah, all of them actually.
All of them, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. So they did different combinations: blue, red, black and white.
Yeah, it's just amazing. This is just a stunning rosette. Look at the detail in that. And just perfect layout, perfect execution. So if you're interested in doing something like this, we're going to be doing this again. Oop, I did something there I shouldn't have done. We're going to be doing this again next year, right after the event we're doing with Trevor Gore in Washington State. So the first week, the 3rd to the 7th, I think, is the Trevor Gore thing. And then the week after that, we'll start the 2-day Rosette class, and then we'll do an 8-day flamenco guitar building course.
Next year is going to be a blast.
Yes. And here is the victims from the class.
We are missing Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin had to scoot out a little early. He had a plane to catch. But he's already signed up for the flamenco class next year, so he'll be there. And then Brad from Alabama, he'll also be there. He just did the Rosette class this year. So, yeah, fantastic. Okay, Paco, how you doing? You still with us?
Yes, I'm very, very, very happy.
Good.
This year has been one of the years that I have learned the most.
It has been an amazing 10 days here, too. I'm going to pull up the pictures from the flamenco guitar building class.
Yes, please.
And in these pictures, we have, Paco's crazy. What he did, I'm going to take Paco off the screen here for a minute, give him a break. What Paco did is he allowed each student to do their own customized bracing based on traditional design. So we had 4 different types of guitars going in the class, and we were able to pull it off. He did a lot of online Zoom type meetings beforehand and talked to the students about what sound they wanted, what they wanted to create, how they wanted to craft the sound, and then they would choose a bracing pattern. Sometimes it was a hybrid approach between some traditional type bracing. But I'll just start pulling those up, Paco, and I'll let you start discussing them. So here's the victims. This is yesterday. We just finished the class yesterday. And I got sick in the middle of the course, had to work through it. A couple of the other guys started coming down with it too. We had a joke that it was the Spanish flu that Paco brought from Spain.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but it was good times. And by the way, my denter over there in Spain, now Stumac, shipped us all the materials. So Paco hand selected the materials, had to prepare some of the materials because of the CITES regulations. But thank you so much to the gang over there at Stumac and stateside here, because they had a hand in it, for hooking us up with a bunch of materials and shipping them over to us. So here we go, Paco. Let's just start going through some of the. Look at that. He's got his game face on. That was Bernie. Yes. By the way, Bernie has built 4 guitars this year with me. He just can't get enough. And he also took my finishing class at Mark Adams. There's Bernie. Oh, excuse me, not Bernie, but Carlo. And Carlo is from Chicago. He's taken Paco's class before. And look at the rosette. He's the one that did that hand painted with the pearl and gold leaf rosette, and it just turned absolutely stunning at the end of it.
He will deserve it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can move on. There's Dave Lang. Dave's from South Dakota. He did a cedar top.
Yeah.
With traditional.
Very difficult guitar.
Yeah. There's Carlo again. And there we are all around the table there making things happen.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there's the four backs. You can see we had all different types of materials. Paco, did you actually allow them to choose the materials or not?
Yes. This year we went just like my bespoke guitars. So we
Yeah.
did basically four. I had the I wanted the students to have the opportunity to enjoy all of the advantages of making a group course
Yeah.
and all of the advantages of making a one-on-one course, that the ones that I make in Spain, where we basically make a bespoke guitar. It's a completely from the headstock up to the tail block. Every student design absolutely everything. They are allowed to choose everything. I really get in trouble. I like it hard.
Yeah. Well, we certainly had a fun week. Paco, I have a question that came in. I'm just going to pop it up here on the screen. How much time does it take to make such rosettes?
You need 2 days to make 3 mosaic rosettes. And then, depending on the complexity for a modern rosette, if you want to do a paper, laser, mother of pearl, resin, 3D printing, it can take you months. Since you start talking to the customer, you get the idea, you need to find the inspiration, you need to find the idea, then you need to think about which techniques are you going to use to make it to take it from the computer into the real world, which is a completely different story. So it can take you months
I think
because you need
Paco,
to do the design. And
yeah, I think you said you had a rosette. You had like 100 hours in or something.
I did a rosette, which is a Il Duomo project that you can check in my website. It took me 6 months.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up here, Paco. Here's Paco's website.
Right
And
there, Il Duomo.
which one is that? That one right there. Is there a way I can click on it and
Yes.
expand it? There it is. How can I expand that rosette? Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the detail in that rosette, folks. And it's like 3D. It has layers and stuff. Just
Yes. And
amazing
it's
stuff.
all it was completely designed on the computer, and then it was completely made by hand. Everything was cut using the students in this year. They learned how to make such a rosette.
Yeah, in 2 days.
You cannot do that rosette in 2 days, but now they know how to do it.
Right. Here's some of the other rosettes. If you go out to his website, Chorobo is his last name, CHOROBO.com. And you'll be able to see all of these rosettes that he's put together. And you can see they're absolutely stunning. So be sure and check those out. Let me get back over to the pictures here, Paco. Let's see if we can get there. All right, here we go. Oh, there's some of the guitars that are being wrapped together. They decided to take my twill tape and tie it all together in one big long piece. So the guitars are kind of tied at the hip there with an umbilical cord kind of thing. That's why they're stacked on top of each other. And all right, so this is the part I wanted to get into here, Paco. Each student did their own design. And so I'm going to pull up pictures of the bracing pattern on all of these guitars. And I want you to kind of talk about why and how they came up with this particular design. So go ahead. There's the first one.
So the idea was to make every student to make one different bracing and one different guitar for every student. That way, I will be able to prove that you can get a very close sounding instrument, even if you change the bracing, because you also change other elements. Here we can see we have linings on the top. On other guitars, we will have peones, individual curves. In this case, this is one of my favorite bracings. It's one that I really like to use, and it's based on a very traditional patterns from Granada. We are also adding a little bit of Marcelo Barbero ideas, and of course Santos Hernandez work, which inherits from Manuel Ramirez that we are using on a different guitar. This is a Carlos guitar, and we wanted to create a traditional sounding flamenco guitar, but with a little bit more volume and power, thanks to the way that we are assembling the instrument. where we are increasing a little bit the high frequency content by using the cross grain braces, and then we achieve very similar results on other guitars without using them. So this course was very interesting because every student was doing something different, and then we got pretty close numbers. By the time they put the finish on, they will be very, very close. So basically here we were inspired by Santos Hernandez and Marcelo Barbero.
Yeah, I found that very interesting, Paco. Yesterday at the end of the course, we decided to capture the frequencies, just like Trevor does, using frequency analysis and stuff. And all of the frequencies were very close, even though we used different bracing patterns. Some were spruce, some were cedar. So it was pretty amazing to see how that all came together.
Yeah. Even using different species for the top, because we were using German, Engelmann, Sinker cedar, and Western red cedar.
Yeah. All right. So here comes some more pictures for you, Paco.
Okay.
There's another bracing pattern.
Oh, yes. This one, I love it. This is what I call an evolution bracing, because it's basically a very old, a very traditional bracing by the luthier who started this tradition was Domingo Esteso, and it was continued by his nephews. So here we are doing our own interpretation of this bracing. We are not copying any bracing on any of this guitar, because that's completely completely useless. So this is our own interpretation of this bracing, and you can see that we have very few braces. But this guitar turned out to have the highest frequency. I mean, they are very close, but this one, and here on this guitar, we were trying to get, or David was requesting, deep basses and very clear and well-defined, powerful trebles. That's very difficult to achieve. So we put this bracing to the test. It's very light. We have the cedar. We have cross braces here. It will take us 1 week of live streams every day to explain all of the little details that we did in the course. But you can see it's very light bracing. We have a cedar top. Cedar top is helping us to get those deep basses. This guitar, the basses are really deep, and the trebles, they sound like a bell. So yeah, I'm loving this bracing more and more. The braces has dual function. They act as sustain enhancers, and they also reinforce the rosette weak tangential grain. So it's a pretty interesting bracing. I'm playing with this bracing a lot in my workshop.
And back and sides were cypress, right?
Yes. So cedar top and back and side cypress is one of my favorite combination. Actually, my guitar number 0, the one that I did when I did my guitar making course, because I started like my students. I took a guitar making course in Spain, and then I decided that I will try to become a luthier. I'm still trying to. So yeah, and we got a very interesting result with this guitar.
All right, Paco, I have a question here that just popped up. Let's see if we can answer this. Thanks, Robbie and Paco. What neck angle do you use in the solera? Is 1 millimeter adequate for flamenco to achieve low action and low height from the top at the bridge? What radius do you recommend for the top?
Yes, on these guitars, we were using a 2 millimeter. We designed a custom solera because we were sharing the same design. We were using the original Manuel Ramirez template. So we designed a custom solera with Sam from TCS Custom Woodworks. And the soleras are 2 millimeters. The ramp is 2 millimeters. So we don't talk about angles on soleras. We talk about the drop. We have a 2 millimeter drop. And then the radius that we were using on the tops is 6,000 millimeters, which is more or less 3 millimeter drop from the edge of the solera to the position of the bridge.
You said 6,000. Did you mean to say 600?
No, 6,000 millimeters. It's 6 meters.
6 meters. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
6,000 millimeters.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, engineers, we always talk in millimeters.
All right, let's go back to another picture here.
Yes, please.
There's the next one. That one was
Yeah.
Bernie's.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite bracings for cedar. Here we were combining concepts from Ramirez. I have a strong influence from Ramirez. Um, there is something in the Ramirez house, as we say in Spain, La Casa Ramirez, that I find it really inspiring. And here we are combining an asymmetrical bracing. We are using scalloping that we steal from steel stream makers. It's a very, very interesting bracing. And we also have some elements like this diagonal brace from the Cordoba school, from a great maker who was Rodriguez Benito. He's one of my favorite makers. Um, Great guitars and pretty interesting bracing. This guitar has a lot of quality in the sound. It's a very responsive guitar. They the strings, they react very quick. Even when you play super 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 piano, it's a very very interesting bracing. It's one of my favorites also.
All right, and here's another one that we did in the class.
Yes. Many people will recognize this bracing because it's inspired by the great Manuel Reyes. He is he was probably the best flamenco maker alive. He unfortunately he passed away, and this bracing is inspired in his work. There you can see four tiny patches, and it's curious because you can see some of his guitars they have them, some of them they don't have them. So who knows? Might be there was like a little crack on the top, and then he was repairing the top, and from the records and images that we have from him, we can see them through the light inside of the top of the soundboard. So we decided to do this. Those patches are they are not adding a lot of stiffness across the grain, but they are adding a little bit of mass. It's just a few grams. Also here we are using puntales to hold down the back. It's a different method. And the back braces on these guitars are designed to be very, very live. They you pay a little bit of a price in terms of volume, but the back is going to add more juice to the mix because the back is also vibrating. You lose a little bit of volume, but you win a more interesting and more complex sound. Yeah, pretty interesting bracing, and this guitar is the most percussive of all of them.
Folks, as you can see, it was a pretty complicated class to allow 4 different types of bracing patterns going on in the same class at the same time. Yesterday, I put up a video on Facebook, Instagram, I think also on YouTube Shorts on the O'Brien Guitars YouTube channel, where Paco is playing each one of the guitars, and so you can kind of hear the difference between them. By the way, that last guitar, the back and sides were black limba, which was it's not a traditional flamenco guitar wood. Paco, I got another question here for you.
Yes, please.
All right, let's bring this one up. Is it typical to not use a bridge patch on flamenco guitars?
Bridge patches are obsolete. On the flamenco guitar, what you can do is you can do a bridge strip. That's you will see that on many guitars in the Granada style, the Granada school. The Granada school is everybody who wants to make a high quality classical guitar, Spanish guitar, or flamenco guitar. You have to go through that type of school, that type of construction, because Granada school is all about quality. It's all about quality. So, we have many schools in Spain. We have great makers everywhere in Spain, but there is something special in Granada, and I think it's very important to study the school of Granada. So no bridge patch for me. And what I really like to use, especially on very light flamenco guitars, is the bridge strip. It's a strip that goes all the way through the top, under the bridge.
Now, you're talking strictly flamenco guitars, or you're talking also about classical guitars?
You can do that also on you can do also on a classical guitar. It will give you a very interesting, especially if you are making a classical guitar with a strong Spanish character, because you can make a classical guitar with deep basses, very clear separation in between strings, which is what a good classical guitar should have, a long sustain. But you can also add a little bit of character. So when you play a repertoire that it's, let's say, a little bit more, I cannot say flamenco, but with a strong Spanish character, if you have a guitar that can help you to get that type of, I wouldn't say percussive, but I would say a Spanish character. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm clear about the.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
Spanish character. You can add these kind of elements that we have been learning through the experience in making flamenco guitars, and you can add it to the classical instrument.
All right. So here's another question. How do you two feel about classical guitars built with bolt-on necks? Hearsay or room for development?
The bolt-on neck is a great joint. Why not? The problem is not on the joint itself. The problem is on the luthier. It doesn't matter. The joint itself doesn't matter very much. What really matters is how good you make the joint. If you make a very good bolt-on joint, it will be better than a poorly made Spanish heel. So it's not the technique itself. It's the most important part on a guitar. On the result of a guitar is the guitar player. Then the luthier. Then the workshop or the assembly method. Everything that is the skills of the luthier. Everything that is how you do the guitar. The assembly method is also very important. It will change the sound, the type of assembly that you do. And the last but not least is the materials. The materials is you can see in this workshop we did a cedar top, two types of cedar, two types of spruce. Frequencies were very, very close. We are talking around 200 hertz, plus minus 2-3 hertz. That's pretty amazing for such a different type of materials. Even back and sides completely different. Black limba, cypress. So more than the joint itself or the bolt-on neck, and it's the luthier. And regarding here is if it's a blasphemy or not, I'm not the one to judge. It's only the customer. We should not build thinking about other luthiers. What do they think about us? We should think only in the player, the customer. That's the only thing that matters, the player. When I make a guitar, the only thing that I have into consideration is the customer. I don't care about the tradition, the other luthiers, what they will think. It's only the customer, the player. That's the only thing that I care. I will do anything to get the goals that I need to make my customer happy.
Very good.
And my students, of course.
All right, here comes another question. Peonies versus curved linings for the top. What kind of total differences? That's a great question.
Okay, thank you for this question. So I will tell you. So if you use peones, you can decide how much mass you will put on that node, on the joint in between the top and the sides. If you use curved linings, you cannot decide because it is. You can also use completely solid wood, or you can use laminate strips to create like the thickness that you need. So I will leave you there. So now you know that what you can change is the mass and the let's say the lock of the joint, the quality of the joint. So based on that, you can take your own conclusions. So do you need to control the mass? Then use peones. Do you want to increase the mass and the locking effect, the gluing effect in between the top and the sides to the maximum possible? Then use solid linings. So which one is better? No one is better. It depends on what you want to achieve. So now you know if you need to control the mass, then with everything that that is related to the mass. Precise answers for this type of questions, they require a few hours of talking.
Yeah, that was a good answer, though. Thank you.
Yeah, so there you have it. Do you need to control the mass or not?
Okay, here is another question.
Yes.
Paco, what are your favorite woods for building a guitar?
I need to answer this question from two different perspectives. First, I will do it as a player. Many of you know that I love playing. I'm a flamenco enthusiast and a guitar playing enthusiast. My favorite combination is cedar and cypress. That's my favorite combination. But as a luthier, I love every single wood. I think I have built more than 20 species, and I think that's a lot for a short career like mine. 20 different species. Many luthiers spend their whole life only building Indian rosewood and cypress. So me making more than 20 different species tells you that I really love every single type of wood. And I have very strong opinions on the grain, especially on the tops, because honestly, I think it's not the wood. I mean, the wood is important, but these pieces of wood is not so critical. We have proved it in this workshop. We have done very different bracings, very different species of wood, and the numbers, they don't lie. I mean, the microphone doesn't lie.
All right, another question here, Paco. Boy, you're getting a lot of questions, man. You're a popular guy.
Oh, thank you so much.
Some flamenco luthiers make plywood sides. Have you already done this?
Here I would like to make a distinction. I would like to clarify something, because plywood in Spain has a very bad reputation. But when we say plywood in Spain, we mean laminated, because plywood is a completely different thing in Spain. It's like waste fibers put all up together. So laminations, they have a lot of advantages. They are structurally more resistant. They are stiffer. You can get more use of the tree by doing lamination, because you can have the pretty wood on the outside and you can have other more stable woods on the inside. For the type of customer and the type of guitar that I do, unfortunately, I cannot use laminated wood, because it has a different perception by the customer. So I only use solid woods. But why not? Why not? Who knows? In the future, we may only use laminated backs and sides. Who knows? I'm completely open to all these kind of things. And then you can do laminated sides with pretty expensive woods, and you can go pretty fancy. So I don't see the problem.
All right, back to the questions here about bridge patches. Steve Johnson says, I have Paco's guitar building course. The course plans show no bridge, plate, or strip. So currently, would you advise incorporating the bridge strip with the bracing plan from your course?
For sure, no bridge patch, as we know it, just the patch and the bridge. But I will encourage you to try a thin strip, no more than 10 millimeters wide, no more than 1.5 millimeters tall or thick, and try to go from the outer braces from one to other, or even cross all of them, and then notch all of the braces and put all of the braces on top of that strip, and you will see how cool it sounds. It gives you a very it adds a little bit of percussion, especially when you play very fast notes on the upper notes. It sounds like a machine gun. I really like that strip. I learned that strip from René Barraga and Ana Espinosa in Granada. I've learned a lot in Granada. And the first time that I saw that strip was in their workshop. I was there just visiting them. and I said, "Oh, this looks very cool," and I want to learn how to notch. It will give you also an opportunity to learn how to notch braces. So you have to make a perfect interlock in between the braces and the thin strip behind the bridge. So I really encourage you try it. It will increase your level as a luthier because you have to do perfect interlock, and you will get a very nice effect of percussion on the strings.
Paco, I'm always amazed at how fast these hours go by. We're coming close to the top of the hour already. But in the course description, or excuse me, in the title of the video live stream today, we mentioned that we were going to talk about flamenco geometry. So can you
Yes.
just give us a quick description of what you mean by flamenco geometry?
Yes. When we talk about flamenco geometry, we refer to the most important aspect of a flamenco guitar, which is the strings cannot be more than 9 millimeters away from the top. So we have a very small bridge. I mean, a very low bridge, because the bridge will be, the wood itself will be 5-6 millimeters, and then we have 1 or 2 millimeters of bone. So we are talking around 7 millimeters. So that forces us to tip the angle of the neck up, so we can have a little bit of action, because we need a little bit of action. If you combine that with the low action that is required for the flamenco guitar, it will force you to use lower frets, and it will force you to tip the angle of the neck a little bit. That's why it's so important when you do a flamenco guitar to have a very good lock on the back. And that was something that we were talking during the course, how to lock the back with the neck so that you don't lose that angle. So yeah, flamenco geometry is one of the key factors when making the flamenco guitar, because you can make a cypress guitar, top guitar, spruce top, flamenco pegs, everything, and then you have a 12 millimeter bridge, and it's impossible to play flamenco, because you cannot play flamenco if your bridge is more than 9 millimeters, only if it's a very modern flamenco guitar. But if it's a traditional flamenco guitar, I've gone up to 6 millimeters. So that's what we call as the flamenco geometry, and it's very, very demanding. I like to say that the flamenco guitar is the most demanding in terms of geometry, because you have basically no room for error. You need to make the neck angle, the thickness of the taper in the fretboard needs to be perfect. And the classical guitar, it's a little bit more demanding in terms of sound, because on the flamenco guitar, it's most you are looking more towards the feeling, how it feels the guitar. It needs to be percussive, reactive for the player, because you play so fast, so many notes, arpeggios. You are so the harmonic content is not as critical. But nowadays, the flamenco players, they are evolving a lot, and they also need harmonic content, good sustain, but at the same time, they need short notes to play very fast. The modern flamenco guitar is becoming one of the most demanding Spanish instruments.
Okay. Paco, also in the title, we talked about digital technology. Now, for those who don't know, Paco is a tech whiz. I mean, he's a genius, and he's helped me out a lot this week with the CNC. We even did some CNC work on the guitars. Talk a little bit about the digital technology aspect, how you use that in your work, and you're a teacher. You teach it as well.
Yes. I teach digital technology for artisans, basically luthiers. And yeah, digital technology is a huge improvement for a luthier. I would like to say first that it's very important that you learn how to use the chisel, learn how to use the plane. You need to master all of the basic techniques first, because otherwise, things like modal tuning, CNC, laser, 3D printing, all of that is completely useless if you don't know how to use the chisel, if you don't know how to sharpen a scraper and use the scraper properly. But once you have the basic skills and you know how to do it by hand, Then when you open the box of digital technology, you can do amazing things, because basically now that I know how to use the chisel and I know how to use the plane, now I know how to use the CNC. I know how to program a parametric, let's say a heel cap. So today I will do a 30 millimeter heel cap. Tomorrow I need a 31 millimeter heel cap. So I just insert that number there and the program is going to generate the model for me in 1 second. So basically you become limitless, because you can use and you can combine all of those techniques. And the key, as I always like to say to my students, is don't let the machine do the final product. That's the big, big, big error. If you want to use digital technology as an artisan, you need to do the final product. You can only use the digital technology as a tool. You cannot use it to produce it, because that's what a factory will do. You can immediately tell when a bridge, a decoration, a rosette has been done using digital technology or digital manufacturing, because it smells like a factory, because the machine did the product and you just stick the product on the guitar, the part on the guitar, and that's it. So that's not how you make a piece of art. And if you want to use digital technology to create art, you need to switch the concept in your brain. And digital technology is not intended to make a lot of parts, but it's intended to create unique parts that cannot be created in using traditional techniques. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. It's just another tool. It's like when we had a drill press. 200 years ago, there was no drill press. And now we have the drill press. You are not less artisan because you use a drill press or a hand drill. That's completely not. It's completely nonsense. Nobody is going to tell you you are not an artisan because you are using a drill press. So in a few years, CNC, laser, FDM printing, SLA printing, all of these will be just more tools. And the difference will be which luthiers know them and which luthiers don't know them, because it's a big tool. I can make completely with no electricity, like I do in some courses, no electricity at all. And I can use laser, CNC. So I have everything in my bag. There is no limit for me.
Paco mentioned the heel cap. Let me just show you a quick picture of what we used this digital technology for in the class for a heel cap. Here comes a picture. Check this out, folks.
Yeah.
That's just a simple CNC rat out of a frame, and then we inlaid rosewood into it. And then as we're doing the binding installation, we incorporated that. And as Paco's helping students, I'm banging those out on the CNC machine. But absolutely stunning what you can do with technology. And Paco, he's a master at that. Yep.
If you ask a CNC expert, if you look at the picture of that heel cap, a CNC expert will tell you that that piece was not made with the CNC, because there are a few elements that the CNC cannot do, like the perfect corner in the joint. And also it's very difficult to drop the guitar on the machine and cut the pocket for the heel cap. Also, all of the points are not rounded. All of the points are really sharp. That's something that is very hard to do for the CNC unless you put a lot of effort, but you will never be able to do that. So we are combining the CNC and the chisel. If you combine the CNC and the chisel, then you get amazing results, because this piece could have been just cut by hand.
And it might have been quicker, because it took me a while to make those on the CNC. I'm still a novice on the CNC.
but now that you have the parametric model, because remember we were making modifications to the design, and I was doing the modifications while I was drinking a little bit of water.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do any more work.
We're running close to the hour here, so let me just get two more quick questions here, and then we'll go to the drawing down in Brazil. So John says, you said earlier that TCS Custom made the Soletta for your students. Do they have a version of that available to purchase that would match the course? Actually, I'll let you answer that, Paco.
You just need to contact Sam. I discovered Sam from TCS, and he is very, very, very like me. So we immediately understood each other. And he is basically a custom, a bespoke service. So that's why I like to work with him, because he really understands me. So just contact him, and he will make not only this solera, but he can create anything.
And Cesar, if you're in Brazil down there listening, can you find the TCS custom website and put that up there for everybody? He makes templates and jigs and other things as well. So fantastic individual. Last question, and then we got to move on. Here we go. Except for rosettes, what do you use the laser for?
The laser is great for printing on wood. It's great for making accurate lines, reference marks, and that kind of detail marking. What I don't recommend you the laser is to do engravings, cut parts, and that type of stuff, because it will burn the sides and then you have to clean it. So my favorite use for the laser is to make a perfect reference. So then you can go with your favorite hand tool and then you cut the pieces using the reference.
Right. All right. And Cesar just put in the chat box there the website address for TCS Custom. All right. Well, Paco, I think we probably ought to move down to Brazil real quick. We'll come back and say goodbye to Paco here in a minute. But let's go down there. Yeah, Manda Brasa. Let's see if Cesar and Manuela are still awake down there. Oh, look at that. They've changed their background. They're now sitting in the snow.
We are awake, but we are freezing. Completely freezing.
All right,
we
Cesar,
have
go ahead.
31 participants today, and Manuel is going to do the draw. So let's see. And Eric Thompson is the winner.
Eric Thompson, congratulations. You have won the flamenco guitar making course from Paco. And that course is so much more than just a course. We filmed that 10 years ago in Spain in Paco's workshop. And I'm so proud of that course. Paco is as well, because it's not just how to make a flamenco guitar. It's really a documentary on all things flamenco. We traveled on the weekends and visited people, interviewed singers and dancers and teachers, percussionists. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And the final scenes of the video are Paco performing on a stage in Granada, about a 3,000 seat auditorium, with the guitar that we made in the course. All professionally done, HD footage, so it's fantastic. So I'm sure you'll enjoy it, and if anybody wants to get it, it's available at the Luthier Academy website. Okay, Paco, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. A nice round of applause for Paco.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been a true honor.
Yeah, Paco, make sure that you go and visit his website. Let me just pull that up again here for you. There it is. Chorobo.com, CHOROBO.com, and he really does make custom one at a time guitars, and he teaches in his classes how to. He allows his customers or his students to take liberties and do custom stuff. So if you want to take a vacation over to Spain and spend some time with Paco, highly, highly recommended. Heck, I might even sign up for a class myself.
Thank you so much, Maestro. It's been
all right. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you for Paco for being here. Paco's a great friend. We've had a great friendship here for about 10 years now. And one thing that Paco likes is milk and cookies. So
yes,
you guys,
that's the only reason I'm here.
If you want to get on his good side, provide milk and cookies.
Thank you to everyone making this possible. All of my people in Spain, all of my friends, Madinter, my family. Thanks to everyone making this. And thank you so much, Adriana, for making my life easier.
Yes, Adriana is the girl from Ipanema, and she has kept us well fed and supported here this week. So thank you to the girl from Ipanema.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Cesar and Manuela down in Brazil. And we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you, Cesar. Thank you, Manuela.
Thank you.